Big name in the future if he trains for another 10 years. Jeryeong says he has something to tell him, but the manager already knows. If it's about quitting being a smuggler, he's free to go, but if Jeryeong wants to become an adventurer, there's one condition. He better learn within the next month, with the manager plans to teach him. If he doesn't succeed, he should reconsider his plans. It won't be easy, as it's not within his natural talents, but Jeryeong isn't sure what it could be. However, the manager reveals that it's exactly what he thinks, it's magic he intends to teach him. The protagonist asks if he had heard it correctly, because he wants to know more about the matter, as he's very impressed. But his future mentor is too tired to remain standing, meeting immediate assistance. It doesn't seem like ordinary fatigue, as even his body is cold, leaving the boy with no choice but to carry him in his arms. At first, making coffee from beans was a bit difficult, but soon he got the hang of making a tasty coffee. If he had known the process was so therapeutic, he would have started much earlier, as it would have been a lovely hobby during his prime. The other guy didn't like that phrase, as he thinks his friend is still in his prime. That way of speaking is as if he were retired. Jawam was only 26 years old at the time, and the protagonist's father said that he really is retired. The manager would like him to be able to put an end to Dugano Wig. He just needed to form a capable squad for it, but he would have to overcome the bureaucracy to do so. I already understand his enemy's strategy too, who ends up handing over victory by hiding. But that's what worries the manager a lot, this decision will strengthen his enemy. He's also outraged because people don't give credit to the true hero. Showing himself to be a loyal friend, he said he would take care of things for him. He decided he would fight the dragon and fix what had happened. The heated conversation ended up waking the child. It seems the manager didn't know of his existence until now. That tiny big-eyed and very well-mannered boy is named Jeryeong. Only now has he been introduced to the son of the great hero. He asked the boy to go play for a while because he needs to talk to that adult, was going to have dinner with him. It was then that he revealed to the manager that his health wouldn't last much longer. Dick was doing his best to treat him, but his body is also developing resistance to medicine. Soon all his abilities will deteriorate, including cognitive ones. He has at most for years before becoming unrecognizable. That news shook the manager, but the hero had already made his choice. He took the opportunity to ask him to take care of the child. The worst happened. The manager had never seen that man show weakness. This was the first and only time. The only opportunity in which he asked someone a favor. Not because he was proud, but because he felt too responsible for his own. He wished the little one a normal life, a life different from the one he had, a life in which he finds happiness. That was the small favor he had asked of the manager, who could never refuse the last request of his great friend. His health condition eventually deteriorated, that part the manager remembers well. He asked the boy what time it was. It was still early that day, but tomorrow was already almost over. The manager just hoped he hadn't been treated by Zeke, and Jeryeong confirmed that hadn't happened. It considered taking him to the hospital, but it would be too hard to explain this situation, so he treated him at home. The manager quickly realized what happened. In the past he had received that as a gift for starting work. Jeryeong was only 14 years old and thought that sirens was to be used on monsters, but later learned it was an emergency medicine. It might not be a sensational item, but it solved the problem in emergencies, serving as an antidote for almost anything. It's almost exclusive to adventurers, and he thought it wouldn't be a bad gift for the boy. From then on, he should buy the next ones with his own money. That made the boy very happy, and the manager just observed him. He warned that the boy's choice about the path he wants to follow cannot be changed. Once he started, he couldn't just stop working. At least he wouldn't have to worry about hospital expenses, even if it troubled the manager's conscience. The boy sees it as an opportunity because they don't know what might happen in the future. Since he was little, he knew it was necessary to have his own skills. Trusting that man isn't a challenge, because the real challenge is being strong enough to protect his father. As he left, he thanked him for the gift. But the manager never imagined that gift could be used on him. The boy had survived all those years without meeting it. He should have at least sold it on the black market, but that's not what Jeryeong would do. He revealed to the boy that he would pay for the hospital expenses anyway, and he had always known that. He had doubts at some point, but always considered the possibility. He knew the manager wouldn't give up on his father even if something happened. That's why he never hesitated to work for him. When the boy became his employee to be a smuggler, that was when he thought he had given up on the promise he once made. But it was the boy who wished for it. He was the one who asked for the opportunity. If not with him, he would have found another way. It removed the manager's doubt, who had always been intrigued by how easily a boy accepted that job. The promise he had made to his father was not to turn his son into an adventurer. But even at his own peak, he had usually listened to the boy's father because the talent he had couldn't be wasted on a normal life, especially because he hates this damn world they live in. The bastard who disrespected his father and forgot everything he had done for humanity. Even those who stayed silent during that injustice, he hopes all of them find out if hell exists. He said that not even Zeke would be able to defeat the dragon. The intention is good, but his methods are naive. It's not just humans who need determination to defeat the dragon. These creatures aren't stupid either. Finding them is very difficult, and if they are defeated one day, society may collapse. They're already deeply infiltrated. Determination is a good thing, but all these people are just trash for betraying the protagonist's father. Even if the world ended tomorrow, these fools wouldn't go back on what they've done. Zeke is bound by the laws of society, and that stops his plans to defeat the dragon. He'll end up paying a price for it. Soon, the devastation his father prevented will happen someday, and the false hopes will be spooked away. That's why he never pressured the boy to become an adventurer and handed him a piece of paper. They had the data of a bank account in his name, years of deposits he had made from his own earnings for the boy. He hoped he would become an adult first, so he had the means to do whatever he wanted with his life. He even considered teaching the boy some skills to succeed in life, so he wouldn't need to become an adventurer, which is very dangerous. When he's ready, he should sign a contract to learn magic. Until then he wished the boy would study, even if he thought it insignificant. Jirian believes he could have been stopped by him from becoming an adventurer, if that's what he truly wanted. In fact, he's not wrong, but the answer to that will stay in his own mind. His thoughts are irrelevant. Those are the same as what happened 3 years ago. What really matters is Jirian's will to decide what to do with his own life. These are the ruins of the ancient city of Johnson. A woman walks him on the wreckage. It's already time for them to have a better place to meet since money isn't a problem. The guy doesn't believe she was the one to suggest that idea because she barely comes to the meetings, but agrees they shouldn't have a place with at least hot water. The woman didn't expect to see that man alone, as he's always accompanied by someone else. At the moment, the man whom usually accompanies him has other duties, and the woman knows this too. That's why she praised him. Being without his bodyguard, she thought he'd act like a child and go looking for him. Maybe he's just holding back the tears now. The man started getting annoyed by the disrespect. He said if she wants to find out if there's life after death, she just has to keep talking. The woman found that funny, since the dog started barking due to its owner's absence. She thought that attitude was just too cute. Irritated, he warned that he'd have no problem fighting her. She's the reason behind all the current problems. The woman didn't feel intimidated, either, saying he always brings up the same topic, but another person ordered them to stop it immediately. Their presence was enough to calm Heron and the bulky one down. They could fight later, but for now they had a lot of work to do and need to finish quickly. It would be a shame if they had more work because of the irresponsibility of the two. The bulky one admitted he was being stupid. He shouldn't have fallen for a provocation. The woman said the bulky one was still alive thanks to that intervention, claiming the man was ignoring her calls. But it seems that's not what happened. Because 4 days ago Yusubi did need to give an answer. But he was saying to disband the rescue team, there was no need to request it, and the plan was a success. The bulky one said that only 12 people lost their lives in the event, and they still had the bad guys' spotlights on someone else. The news won't stop talking about those mysterious young people. It was the actions of those boys that prevented a public retaliation against the Adventurers Association. People that contained the creature wasn't properly supervised,